Thanks for joining us on Arirang News. I'm Kim Beom-soo in Seoul. Torrential downpours hammered the Seoul metropolitan area and parts of Gangwon-do province overnight, which forced authorities to shut Jamsugyo Bridge in Seoul as the Hangang River water level has risen. The government also pledges to pour all efforts into supporting those heavily hit by the harsh weather. The ruling People Power Party will hold a national convention this afternoon to pick its new party leadership. A voter turnout that's lower than that of the previous convention is drawing attention as to who will secure a majority in the first vote to head off a runoff. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is gearing up for her White House run, securing enough delegates to win Democratic nomination. Fellow Democrats are throwing support for her, including former Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Torrential rainfall pounded the Seoul metropolitan area and Gangwon-do province overnight. The heavy downpours have led to road closures, and residents are advised to check for traffic conditions before heading out. Our Yoon reports.
Heavy monsoon rain battered parts of the country overnight, and Seoul is seeing some road closures. The heavy rain has caused the Hangang River level to rise to 6.21 meters. As of 9:37 Tuesday morning, Jamsugyo Bridge has been closed in both directions, restricting all vehicle access. And between 9:50 a.m. and 11 a.m., the Yeouido-Sangnu interchange area of Olympic-daero Expressway was closed to traffic in both directions before being reopened. And over in Incheon, where strong wind warnings had been issued, the fire department received some 58 calls related to damage from the heavy rain between 10 p.m. Monday night and 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. Parts of Incheon are seeing flooded roads and houses, as well as sea routes being suspended. Over in Cheoron County in Gangwon-do province, firefighters were called to assist vehicles stuck in flooded roads. This as the country at one point saw heavy rainfall of 74.2 millimeters per hour. One driver was stuck in their vehicle as it filled up with floodwater, but firefighters were able to rescue them within 30 minutes of receiving the initial report. Meanwhile, the Korea Forest Service has issued the second highest landslide warning on a 4-tier scale in Seoul, Gyeonggi-do province, and the city of Incheon. Busan, Daegu, Gwangju, and Daejeon are all under the third highest landslide warning. The Forest Service called on residents in the affected areas to pay special attention to disaster warning messages and evacuate quickly in case of emergency. The government has called for the people to check the traffic situation before heading out and encouraged people to use public transportation. Yoon, Arirang News.
And to help those who have been severely hit by the heavy rainfall get back on their feet, the government has laid out measures in an economic ministerial meeting this morning. And job support for vulnerable groups will also be on the way. Our Park Gun-woo tells us more.
At an economic ministerial meeting held on Tuesday, the South Korean government promised immediate support for residents who suffered damage from the recent heavy rain.
We share our deepest sympathies to all the residents affected by the unusually heavy rain. The government will quickly support them by utilizing all available resources for disaster countermeasures so that they can return to their daily lives.
He also requested that ministries take preemptive measures ahead of the heat wave that usually comes after the summer monsoon to manage energy supply and demand and prevent industrial disasters. Due to the unusual weather, Deputy Prime Minister Choi said food prices could possibly go back up in July. Accordingly, the government promised to release around 300 tons of Napa cabbages and radishes from their storage each day and support the reseeding of flooded crop fields to stabilize supply and demand for farm produce. The government also spoke about plans to support employment, including executing a budget of over $3.3 billion and providing subsidies for the vulnerable. It also announced plans for expanding elderly-friendly residences for the seniors. While regulations for building these senior living communities are set to be eased, more elderly residences will be provided especially for low-income groups and in places where the population is falling. Park Gun-woo, Arirang News.
Producer prices fell for the first time in 7 months in June on the back of falling prices of agricultural products. According to data from the Bank of Korea on Tuesday, the producer price index last month stood at 119.19, 0.1% lower than a month before. Now, the fall in producer prices in June comes after 6 straight months of increases. On a yearly basis, the index rose 2.5%. The fall in producer prices comes on the back of a 2.8% on-month decline in prices of farm goods and a 0.1% drop in utility costs. The founder of one of South Korea's major IT companies, Kakao Corporation, well known for its messenger platform, has been arrested over allegations of stock manipulation. Now, Kim has long denied such allegation. An Sung-jin covers the latest news.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Kim Beom-soo, the founder of Kakao Corporation, over allegations of stock manipulation. After a near 4-hour interrogation at the Seoul Southern District Court on Monday, the court issued a warrant at around 1 a.m. on Tuesday. Kim remained silent when asked about whether he admits any wrongdoing. The allegations of stock manipulation come in connection with the acquisition of SM Entertainment in February last year. Kim is alleged to have manipulated SM Entertainment stock prices to prevent a public takeover by Hive, a competitor also looking to acquire SM Entertainment. Stock prices were set and fixed above Hive's bid of 120,000 won per share, with SM stocks bought through more than 550 purchases using a private equity fund named One Asia Partners, which allegedly injected around 240 billion won or $170 million. Kim had previously strongly denied these allegations and stated that it's unfortunate for such allegations to rise at a time when the company is working together for corporate reform. He stated that he approved of the purchase but was unaware of the exact process. With a warrant, Kim can be arrested for up to 20 days. The prosecutor's office will be questioning Kim on whether he directly interfered. Kakao's investment division director, as well as the CEO of the private equity fund, will also be going to court. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
The ruling People Power Party will hold a national convention this afternoon, where it plans to announce its new party leadership. But with voter turnout lower than that of the previous convention, eyes are on whether any candidate will secure a majority of the votes. Our National Assembly correspondent Shin-ayoung reports.
The ruling People Power Party, currently run by an emergency leadership committee led by Hwang Woo-yeol, is set to announce its new leadership on Tuesday at its national convention in the city of Goyang in Gyeonggi-do province. Ahead of the convention, the party held a 4-day vote which finished on Monday with 48.5% of the 841,000 eligible party members casting their ballots. Those votes will count for 80% of the total results, with the remaining 20% coming from public opinion polls. The number of eligible voters was the highest ever recorded in a PPP national convention. However, the voting rate has decreased by 6.6 percentage points from last year's record high when Kim Gi-yeon was elected as a party leader. The lower voter turnout is attributed to negative campaigning in the leadership race, where candidates focused on trying to bring down their opponents rather than discussing the party's future plans. 4 candidates are competing over the single position of party chair. If none of them win a majority, a runoff will be held between the top 2 candidates, with the winner announced on Sunday. At the same time, 9 candidates are running for 4 available seats on the party's Supreme Council, while 4 candidates are competing over a seat designated for a young member of the Supreme Council who is under 45 years old. The ruling party is choosing its new leadership about 7 months after its former party leader Kim Gi-yeon resigned in December in response to increasing calls for him to step down and revamp the troubled party ahead of the April election. Since then, the party has been operated by an emergency leadership committee. That committee was originally headed by former interim leader Han Dong-un, who then resigned after the election, taking responsibility for the party's electoral defeat. Political circles believe the new party leader, once elected, will face significant challenges in working with the opposition party under the 22nd National Assembly, where the ruling PPP only holds a minority of the seats. There's also much anticipation about how the new leadership will drive the party's reform following the recent election defeat. During their 2-year term, the new leader will also be responsible for guiding the party through the 2026 local elections. Shin-ayoung, Arirang News.
President Yoon will dispatch a special envoy team to discuss South Korea's bid to build nuclear power units in the Czech Republic. The top office said on Tuesday that the president's chief of staff for policy, Song Tae-yoon, and Minister for Trade, Industry and Energy, An Deok-keun, are heading to Prague for a 3-day trip to meet with Czech Prime Minister Petr Fiala and Industry Minister Josef Sikela. The special envoys will deliver President Yoon's personal letter to the officials thanking them for selecting the South Korean consortium as the preferred bidder for the $17.4 billion project. And the two sides will also discuss creating a hotline between the two governments for direct communication. Vice President of the U.S. Kamala Harris has officially put herself on the campaign trail, vowing to win the November presidential election. Now, she's reportedly clinched enough delegates who will support her to win the party's nomination for president. Choi Min-jung reports.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris began the first full day of her presidential campaign on Monday afternoon by greeting campaign staff in Delaware. She expressed her intentions to earn the Democratic nomination and win the election.
So in the days and weeks ahead, I, together with you, will do everything in my power to unite our Democratic Party, to unite our nation, and to win this election.
She also praised U.S. President Joe Biden's, quote, legacy of accomplishment that is unmatched in modern history. Biden joined Monday's event via phone. He said his decision to withdraw was hard, but added that it was the right thing to do. After she praised Biden, Harris turned her fire on election race rival Donald Trump. She said that Trump will bring America backward to a time before many fellow Americans had full freedoms and rights. Speaking of her past role as California's chief prosecutor, Harris called Trump a predator and a cheater.
Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Meanwhile, Democrats are uniting behind Harris by endorsing her as the party's frontrunner for the presidential nomination. They include former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Bill and Hillary Clinton, and several Democratic governors. The Harris campaign claims it has pulled in roughly $81 million in donations over the span of 24 hours. Reuters reported that the campaign is also pushing to secure a majority of the nearly 4,000 Democratic convention delegates needed to ensure Harris's nomination at the August convention. About 1/4 of delegates have reportedly pledged to back her so far. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
Tottenham Hotspur, including the South Korean national football team captain Son Heung-min, have embarked on their tour of Asia. Tottenham on Monday announced a squad of 31 players who will travel for the preseason tour of Japan and South Korea. Rodrigo Bentancur, who recently publicly apologized to Son Heung-min for a racist comment that he claimed was a joke, will not participate, as the two others who were part of their country's Copa America and European Championship squads. Heading to Japan for the first time in 33 years, Spurs will play J1 League champions Vissel Kobe this Saturday at the Japan National Stadium. And then Spurs will head to Seoul to face Team K League on July 31st, and then Bayern Munich on August 3rd as part of the Kupang Play Series. Short-form platforms like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels are known for their high user engagement. And the Korean wave, or Hallyu, is making a strong presence through these short yet dynamic videos. Yoon reports.
A window to the entire world. With just a swipe, we can discover content from all around the world.
I'll aim to convey my key message within a 15 to 60 second time frame, reflecting the trend of shrinking attention spans among today's audience. In our fast-paced world, there's a strong preference for short-form media or bite-sized content that is compact and can be quickly consumed. Whether it's entertainment, educational videos, or even news, there is something for everyone.
Industry experts say that there has been a notable rise in content on short-form platforms since the late 2010s. The major platforms include TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. From short viral videos to everyday live content, these videos have reshaped how we consume mainstream culture. They have also become a powerful new tool to promote the Korean wave, especially K-pop.
Short-form platforms have boosted the spread of K-pop content significantly among international users. When a new song drops, it's almost standard practice for artists to create dance challenges or viral trends that fans can easily engage with.
According to TikTok Korea's research, over 50% of its users are open to learning about new cultures. As a leading global short-form platform, viral hashtags influence both creators and users, shaping global trends and driving product purchases. The company refers to this phenomenon as the halo effect.
86% of U.S. consumers and 76% of Southeast Asian consumers became more interested in Korean products and brands through watching content on the platform.
Most importantly, such digital media platforms empower individuals to become ambassadors by spreading content virally.
I believe the most important role of platforms like us is boosting user engagement by providing technical tools and making content creation enjoyable. We plan to continue strengthening these capabilities to further establish a leading platform for setting trends.
A new era of the Korean wave is set to be unfolding. Though short in length, these videos have the power to significantly expand the reach of K-culture to a broader audience. Lee Eun-hee, Arirang News.
The summer heat wave is on the way. This means zoos need to take special measures to take care of the animals' health. Kim Beom-soo reports.
This silver fox is resting in the shade, panting from the heat. Donkeys also huddle in the shade to avoid the sun's hot rays. A special summer fruit salad helps these animals cope with the heat.
We give the animals a variety of frozen fruits as a special snack, perhaps because of the heat, but they like the fruits better frozen. It's also fun for them because it takes longer for them to eat.
As animals' health is at risk in temperatures exceeding 30 degrees Celsius, they're regularly sprayed with water to help them cool down. The management at Ulsan Grand Park Zoo is trying to keep the animals in good health, making sure their immune systems don't weaken.
We plan to help the animals have a healthy summer by installing awnings, spraying the animal exhibit areas, and providing nutritional foods and frozen snacks.
A record-breaking heat wave has been predicted for this summer. In the middle of such heat, animals are also trying to stay cool. Kim Beom-soo, Arirang News.
Now let's take a look at the latest news in the world now. We begin today in Ethiopia, where landslides in the country's southern Gov't region have killed at least 55 people. According to the local chief of the area, the death toll could yet increase as search and rescue efforts are ongoing. A Gov't district spokesperson stated that the first of the two landslides struck on Monday morning as the remote region saw heavy rainfall the day before. He added that locals, including police, gathered at the site to save those buried by the first landslide, and that is when the second landslide happened and those who gathered there died. Previously, landslides in Ethiopia claimed the lives of at least 32 people in 2018. Venezuela's presidential election will be held this Sunday to choose the country's leader for the next 6 years. The incumbent president, Nicolás Maduro, who has held on to power for some 11 years since President Hugo Chavez died in service, will face his biggest test yet as the country continues to struggle with unprecedented levels of poverty and emigration. He'll go up against Edmundo González Urrutia, a former diplomat running for an opposition coalition, the Democratic Unitary Platform. 74-year-old former diplomat González is the opposition's third-choice candidate, as Maria Corina Machado and Corina Lloris have been banned from running. While 61-year-old Maduro inherited an economy beset by high inflation and unemployment, his leadership has presided over Venezuela's economic collapse. Maduro has also been accused of authoritarianism, including the imprisonment of opposition politicians. Nepal's newly appointed Prime Minister Khadga Prasad Oli won a vote of confidence in Parliament on Sunday to secure his position. Commonly known as KP Sharma Oli, Nepal's new Prime Minister won 188 votes in favour with 74 against in the 263-member House of Representatives. The 72-year-old veteran communist leader was sworn into office for the fourth time last Monday after shaping a new alliance with his main coalition partner, Nepali Congress, and several other smaller parties. Under the power-sharing agreement, KP Sharma Oli and Nepali Congress Party President Sher Bahadur Deuba will rotate the Prime Minister's post until the next general election in 2027. Nigerian artist Fola David is seeking the Guinness World Record for the largest drawing by an individual after he spent 6 days working on a piece in a stadium in the country's capital, Lagos. The 30-year-old, who is also a medical doctor, worked on his 1,050-square-meter drawing titled Unity in Diversity, which he says showcases the country's rich cultural heritage. David's drawing shows an image of two giant hands holding a map of Nigeria, a project that was a long-held dream. He also failed to break the record in 2015. Kim Beom-soo, Arirang News.
Good afternoon. Central parts of Korea are seeing on and off downpours. Except in the capital and nearby areas, the rest of the central regions, you see rain going away as the day goes on. Meanwhile, certain provinces are bracing for a scorcher, with heat wave alerts being in place. Daegu and Jeju could see a high of 34 degrees Celsius under partly sunny skies, but high humidity will make it feel hotter. So those traveling from south to north or vice versa need to take the weather into account and have an umbrella or sun gear ready. UV rays are forecast to go up in certain provinces, so have your sun protection handy. Meanwhile, Seoul gets up to 27 degrees, Daejeon topping out at 32 degrees Celsius. Monsoon rain takes a break in central regions from tomorrow, while some weather experts are saying that the tropical storm Kemi has pushed away the monsoon front from the Korean peninsula. Then the sweltering heat will set in. With that in mind, let's take a look at the international weather conditions.
That's all we have at this hour. Arirang News will be back at 2 p.m. Korea time. Thanks for watching.